Welcome into Cronkite Sports Live alongside Harley, Yearout. I'm Rob Werner, and thank you very much for joining us on your Friday afternoon. And Harley, there are so many sports right now. Winter sports just ending. It's that time of the year where we're kind of in a transition period, getting to spring sports, but we still have those winter sports on the show. Stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. Talk about some of those sports ending, men's and women's basketball, men's hockey. But baseball and softball still in full swing. Rob, we got a jam-packed show for you all today. In just its third season in Division I hockey, the men's hockey team made its first NCAA tournament appearance. Led by Joey DeCord and Johnny Walker, the Sun Devils entered the tournament as a third seed in the Midwest with a matchup against Quinnipiac. While the Sun Devils fell 2-1 and were eliminated from the tournament, the program made great strides this season. Not only did the program itself make great strides, goaltender Joey DeCord became the first Sun Devil to sign in the NHL after signing a 2-year deal with the Ottawa Senators. With more on the team's historic season coming to an end is men's hockey analyst Hunter Hipple. Hunter, thanks for calling on today. Let's just hop right into it here. We obviously have to talk about the matchup against Quinnipiac. In your opinion, what were ASU's shortcomings against Quinnipiac last weekend?
You know, I think it's fair to say that they really got dominated. Quinnipiac was the better team. They were bigger, they were stronger, they were faster, they possessed the puck more, and they dominated ASU, except for really the last 6 minutes of the third period. But in an NCAA tournament game, you can't have just 6 minutes of good hockey and expect to win. So it was too little too late for the Sun Devils. They got a goal late, put a little bit of pressure on Andrew Shortridge, Quinnipiac's goaltender, but again, it was just too little too late.
Absolutely, too little too late. Story of the game for ASU. Now let's take a look at the bigger picture here and talk about the program as a whole. How important was this tournament berth for the program?
You know, I don't think you can understate how important this was in terms of the reputation, the perception of the program that was a club team 3 years ago. It's massive, and this is also really big for recruiting. As I said, a club team 3 years ago, now getting recruits from Minnesota, Massachusetts, Ohio, Western Canada, that's pretty crazy. So I think the fact that they're able to now go to recruits and say, we made an NCAA tournament, that's big time.
Absolutely. We've talked about the game and what the tournament appearance meant for the program. Let's take a look at the bigger picture. What is your assessment of this season, and how do you see them performing going into next season?
You know, despite the loss to Quinnipiac last Saturday, it is absolutely a successful season. They went in and won 21 games, which is just 2 less than what they've won the past 3 years combined. They went in and they beat teams like Penn State, BU, BC. These are storied hockey programs that Arizona State went in and beat this year. Nobody expected that at the beginning of the year. Looking forward, I think we need to have a little bit of caution. This group was really special. They had 5 seniors that were really, really important. They're losing Joey DeCord, one of the best goaltenders in the country, and might be losing Brinson Pasnick to the NHL as well. So I feel like we need to take a step back on the expectations for next year, but this season is absolutely a success.
Proceed with caution, Hunter says. For more of his work and more men's hockey coverage, go to cronkitesports.com.
The road came to an end for ASU women's basketball in Portland, Oregon last weekend when the Sun Devils lost to the fifth-seeded Sun Devils lost to national powerhouse and back-to-back Final Four team Mississippi State in the Sweet 16. The team loses seniors Sophia Alenga, Sharnae Johnson-Chapman, Courtney Alkmaar, and the heartbeat of the team, Kiana Ibis. With me to break down the season as a whole is women's basketball reporter Gabe Swartz. Gabe, thanks for being here. And with the team falling out of the tournament in the round of 16 in the Sweet 16 to Mississippi State, a good team that had made back-to-back trips to the Final Four, how did ASU do this series?
I think overall, if you're looking back on this season, you have to see it as a success for ASU. In the last 3 years, they exited the NCAA tournament in the second round, and Charlie Turner-Thorne said all season long she wanted her goal to be to reach the second weekend. They did that. They lose to a number 1 seed Mississippi State team. I think that's what you're going to expect when they're a 5 seed. So at the end of the day, good year for ASU.
And so as I mentioned, Kiana Ibis, the heartbeat of this team, the leading scorer, blocker, and rebounder on this team, is departing as she graduates this year. What was her impact this year and overall at ASU?
Well, this team at times struggled to score baskets, and when they needed offense, they just gave her the ball, got out of her way, and had her go to work. That's what they're losing. You mentioned it. Great rebounder, great shot blocker, and a great scorer. So a massive hole to fill for her. You'll see her stats here, 45.8% field goal percentage. She could also shoot the three-point well, was great at the free throw line, averaged 14 points per game, but that was because ASU played at a slow pace and didn't score too much. But she was a great scorer for them, and they're definitely going to miss her next season.
And so with Ibis gone along with the other 3 seniors, what do you expect next year's roster to look like?
Well, it's definitely going to be a different look for ASU. They might be a little more guard-oriented with Riley Richardson, Robbie Ryan. Richardson, one of the best assist-to-turnover ratios in the country. So expect that to continue. That was a key the last 2 years for ASU. And Robbie Ryan, she's been a big shot maker in big games, and we'll see that again next year because she'll be taking over that role where Ekmark was the lead three-point shooter. And now that it's her job, she'll get more shots, she'll score more. So more of a guard-oriented attack for ASU next year.
So ASU women's basketball has wrapped up their season. Gabe Swartz, he's still around wrapping things up for us and giving us the scoop. Gabe, thanks very much, and thanks for your work all season long on CronkiteSports.com.
After getting swept by the University of Arizona last weekend, the number 19 Sun Devil softball team will play host to the top-ranked UCLA Bruins this weekend. The Sun Devils' bats have been there for them all season as the team is hitting a .341. That total would set a new season record for the program if the season were to end today. Offensively, things have certainly been there for the Devils. But before this weekend series, we took some time to talk to the Sun Devil defense and threw the pitching staff into the ring of fire.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't think I have one.
Can you name off some for me?
My favorite superhero is Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. She's a woman.
The Hulk. The Hulk. The Hulk's cool.
I don't know. It's in a piece of bread. Like, it has bread.
No.
No. No.
No, it's not a sandwich.
Wait, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's one piece of bread.
Is it?
Yeah.
No. No.
Hot dog's a hot dog.
This is hard.
Oh, when I'm pitching sometimes and
Do I have to do this one?
something's not working and she like tells me like 3 words and it like automatically fixes it, I'll turn around and she'll go. It's funny.
She just screams at me a lot. And I don't want to scream.
Peace in your hood, sisters.
Peace in your hood, sisters.
I'm sorry.
"5 hours and 12 minutes. In that time, you could cook a 22-pound turkey. In 5 hours and 12 minutes, you could drive from Phoenix to Las Vegas. But if you were to bet on ASU baseball's Sunday showdown against Arizona taking that long, you'd better be playing with house money. The series finale was an absolute marathon. And speaking of marathons, 1,900 people completed this year's Phoenix Marathon in under 5 hours and 12 minutes. Ultimately, ASU earned a 17-16 walk-off win to clinch the team's first sweep over the Wildcats since 2009. Sarandon Raboyne has a look back on the intense rivalry weekend.
The Arizona State Sun Devils took on their rivals from down south, the Arizona Wildcats, in a weekend series. Alec Marsh started Friday night's game going 6 1/3 with 4 strikeouts and 2 earned runs. Hunter Bishop and Spencer Torkelson both assisted the Sun Devil offense with a home run each, and ASU ended up winning the game 8-2. On Saturday night, Bishop started the Sun Devils off with a home run, which was his 16th on the season. Bishop ended up going 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs on the night. Boyd Vanderkoy allowed just 3 runs in 6 innings pitched and earned 4 strikeouts on the night. However, the excitement of the game was when head coach Tracy Smith was ejected after fighting an umpire's call that Alika Williams did not tag up on a pop fly. Despite the ejection, ASU ended up winning the game 8-3.
After solidifying a series win with both great starting pitching and timely hitting on Friday and Saturday, the Arizona State Sun Devils were in prime position to sweep the Arizona Wildcats. However, on Sunday, it proved to be quite a challenge.
The Wildcats got an early jump on the Sun Devils in the first inning, scoring 4, 2 of which were due to errors. ASU starter RJ Davovich only lasted 2 innings with 6 earned runs and 5 strikeouts. In the 4th, Williams hit a 2-run home run to close the gap and tie Arizona at 9. Then in the 5th, Lyle Lynn went yard with a 2-run homer in order for the Sun Devils to take their first lead of the day with 13-11. After the Wildcats had once again taken the lead, Bishop scored on a wild pitch to tie it for ASU in the bottom of the 8th. But it was an error in the 9th by the Wildcats on Williams' hit to give the Sun Devils the walk-off victory. Head coach Tracy Smith had this to say after the game.
You know, it was an ugly baseball game. But, you know, we just said this, that at the end of the day, it's a win. You know, you found a way to win. It was awful. You'd much rather play an awful game and win than an awful game and lose. And when you look back at the end of the season, when you're playing for a championship, this is going to be a very important game in that win column. And what I was most proud about is all the nastiness going on and all the bad baseball. We somehow, you know, came together and found a way to pull it out.
Reporting for Cronkite Sports, I'm Serena Raboyne.
Head-to-head with the University of Arizona in its spring game and fell 5-3 on its home turf. The win for Arizona marked its 5th consecutive win over the Sun Devils, with 3 coming in the regular season and 2 coming in the spring.
Number 32, Arizona State men's tennis returned home for the first time in 9 matches on Tuesday, facing Delaware in a midweek matchup. The Sun Devils came away with a dominating 7-0 victory, gaining momentum heading into a weekend filled with tough opponents. ASU will play host to number 42 Oregon on Friday before the team has a doubleheader on Sunday against Washington and Grand Canyon. A win over ASU's rival, a dominating sweep over Delaware, and a new season-high ranking has the team feeling confident ahead of an important weekend.
Fundamentals, you know, the fundamentals look really clean out here. I don't care who you're playing. You know, I think when you do the fundamentals well, you know, a match can go well, and like this did in our way. But you know, if you're not doing the fundamentals well, it can look totally different. And so I was really happy with how clean they played.
It was awesome for all of us to get out here in 7-0. We had a dominant win. Everyone played their game and stuck to the game plan, and it feels great to get a win under our belt before a bunch of big matches this weekend.
It's always big to get home wins. I mean, we have a good home court advantage. We love playing here. We don't see these courts that often, to be honest, because we've had a rough schedule playing like about the top 20 teams away. It's good to get some reps in here today and just be ready for some battles this weekend.
We love playing at home. It's favorite time. We love the crowd. We love our courts. We love our environment. So it means a lot to be back home and playing again.
The Sun Devil Beach Volleyball team hosts its final home tournament of the season on Saturday. Coming up a 3-2 weekend down the road, the Beach Devils will play Utah and Cal Poly on Saturday, then come back Sunday against Abilene Christian. To wrap up the weekend, the squad will play their senior day match against the rival in the University of Arizona. The winner of the contest will earn a half point in the all-important Territorial Cup Series. ASU lost to the Wildcats during their last meeting in March, but have a chance to tie the season series on Sunday.
The Arizona State Gymnastics team will be competing in the Baton Rouge Regional later today with hopes of advancing to the semifinals in the Fort Worth in Texas. ASU has 6 seniors on this team that have been through some rough years, but have also helped the program rise to new heights. While this team has seen great success recently, that was not the case just a few years ago. Both 4 and 3 years ago, this team never cracked the top 25 rankings. In 2016, the team didn't place first in a single meet. But over the past 2 years, ASU has been ranked each week of the season, with a high ranking coming last year at number 11 in the country. Over the past 2 years, ASU has placed first in a combined 8 meets. Our own Tyler Mannion caught up with this group to talk about their careers and the legacy they hope to have left in Tempe.
Oh man, it's been 4 years. It's been a long 4 years.
For the 6 seniors of the Arizona State Gymnastics team, much has changed since their first moments on campus.
Oh my gosh, our program has changed from a complete 180. Coming in my freshman year, we weren't too competitive, especially in the Pac-12 conference, being a top conference in the sport of gymnastics and so many other sports. And now, you know, we're really competitive. We're right there, being in the top 20 for most of the season. And, you know, we just really we're able to go out and compete with all those other teams, and it's pretty exciting.
Through a coaching change and complete program rebuild, these seniors have always been able to rely on each other above all else.
We've grown together, we've learned together, we've really had each other's backs throughout it all. Like, thinking back, I don't know if I could have done it without them.
These girls mean the world to me. We have been through it all together. We've grown so much, and it's made us so close. The struggles and the trials and the challenges have really, it's bonded us, and we are family now.
After their second season as Gym Devils, these athletes hadn't seen a regional appearance or finished better than last at the Pac-12 championships. So what's different now?
The way we handle adversity is a lot different my fourth year than it was like my first year. I think that we have been through so much now that we can handle anything that comes at us, and I think that the team overall, like we're really strong now, and our bond is just unbreakable.
Through the ups and downs, there are some moments that really stand out.
Beating U of A the past 2 years.
And we beat U of A my sophomore year at U of A.
While it's nice to look back on a few Territorial Cup wins, the time for this group is now.
Starting from last year, I really noticed that we are all bonded and have the same goals in mind, and I think that was kind of our driving force last year. And we just wanted to build off of that from where we finished at regionals last year until this year, and we want it to keep going.
After their highest finish at the Pac-12 championship since 2004, the Devils all but guaranteed a spot in regionals. The only thing left to do was watch. So they led this program to ASU's best season in 15 years. But how will this historic senior class be remembered?
We would just want to show everyone that we brought this program back to what it's supposed to be.
We are leaving a legacy of work, competitiveness, and family.
Remember them how you'd like, but one thing's for certain. With this group, it didn't matter if you were from France, California, or anywhere in between. All that mattered was that you left everything out on the floor and supported the athlete beside you while doing so. Reporting for Cronkite Sports, I'm Tyler Mannion.
Now it's time for Sun Devil social media, and for this we welcome in our social media expert of the day, Alex Gall. Alex, thanks for being here. What do you have for us today?
It is great to be here, and you might know that ASU hockey got knocked out in the first round of the tournament last weekend, 5-2 loss, or a loss to Quinnipiac. But ASU will be represented in Buffalo, and that's thanks to ASU goaltender and now current Senators goaltender Joey DeCourty. He's the first Sun Devil to make it to the NHL, and he wore his ASU gear in the game last night, a 5-2 loss to Buffalo. Guys, what do you think of this?
Pretty cool to have that ASU representation in the NHL for sure, especially coming off the difficult losses ASU suffered in the tourney. This is a pretty cool gesture.
Definitely, and a rookie in his first game showing off ASU. He's the first Arizona State men's hockey player to be in the NHL. Really cool for him and really awesome for Arizona State to have that recognition as he was wearing the pads like you're saying.
And that's what Greg Powers says, be the tradition. And now moving on to ASU baseball. They swept Arizona last week, but guys, if you had to play baseball, what's one thing you couldn't play baseball without?
First of all, great timely snapshot there. You can't play baseball though without a ball. Baseball, you need a ball in every sport, right,
Because
Rob?
I think Tracy Smith would disagree with you.
I don't know if Tracy Smith would disagree with that, but I think that I would go with dugout. It just seems like a thing that I think about when I think of baseball. So I'm going to go with dugout, but that is brutal. And if I was Aleka Williams right here when he got cup checked by Spencer Torkelson, I would be upset, especially in the Territorial Cup. For ASU fans, don't worry though. Arizona State did win the series and swept the Wildcats for the first time since 2009, but that is a questionable time, I'd say, for that. But it was all laughs after the game.
Big sweep for ASU, and definitely need that athletic supporter, as Tracy Smith would say, to play baseball. But moving on to ASU softball, when your best friend sends you random pictures, and that's Kendra Hackbar's mom, has your mom ever done something, or your family, anybody in your family for that matter, have they embarrassed you either in social media or in public?
All right, I got a mild case here, Alex. I was at a construction site with my mom, and we'd taken a selfie with like the hard hats on, and the lighting was bad. You see the beard here, hadn't fully come in yet, so just a bad picture overall. Thank goodness that hasn't surfaced out of her Instagram yet.
Well, the beard's there now.
Exactly.
I inspired you that.
And I'll make sure that picture resurfaces.
Oh, no,
but
Rob.
my parents are pretty nice in the fact that they don't embarrass me a lot on social media. I do want to give a shout out though to Kendra Hackbar's mom, who said, shout out to my best friend for sending me this. That's really cool that she's saying her daughter's your best friend. So go Hackbarth family.
Well, guys, thank you so much for having me on this weekend, and best luck to you.
Thanks a lot, Alex. And sticking with the diamond and baseball and softball, it's right now the midpoint of the college baseball season, and so far the Pac-12 has been arguably the nation's top conference. Number 7 ASU baseball is one of 4 top 10 ranked teams in the Conference of Champions, and our Gareth Kwok takes a deeper look into the league.
Thanks, guys. ASU baseball has been dominant so far, but they have not faced the gauntlet of Pac-12 teams. After this weekend's series against USC, the Devils will host number 6 Oregon State next weekend, and the team still has to face top 5 teams in UCLA and Stanford. ASU has stars such as Hunter Bishop, Alec Marsh, and Spencer Torkelson. Well, let's take a look at the talent ASU will be facing in the next couple of weeks. Oregon State junior catcher Adley Rutschman was the College World Series most outstanding player in 2018. The 6'2" catcher was named a first-team All-American this week and is projected to be the number 1 pick in the 2019 MLB draft. Another top draft prospect is Cal's junior first baseman Andrew Vaughn. Vaughn won the Golden Spikes Award in 2018 and is considered to be one of the best hitters in the country. He currently is hitting .360 with 9 home runs, leading the team in 3 categories, and is second in the Pac-12 in homers behind Hunter Bishop. Vaughn is a projected top 5 pick for this June's draft. In addition, ASU will likely face Stanford southpaw Eric Miller when the Cardinals come into town. The lefty throws a hard fastball and a big breaking ball, which has helped him get off to a fast 3-0 start to the year, striking out 37 batters in 31 innings. UCLA's second baseman Chase Strump is another dangerous hitter in the Pac-12. He hit .363 with 12 homers last season, and while he is not up to the most amazing start hitting-wise, only hitting .295, the 2019 preseason All-American is fully capable of turning it on down the stretch. Both Miller and Strump are slated to be early to mid-round draft picks in June. With that being said, ASU still has many top-tier players of the Pac-12 they must go through in order to maintain their winning ways. Back to you guys at the desk.
The Sun Devil men's golf team travels to College Station this weekend for the Aggie Invitational hosted by Texas A&M. The ASU lineup will consist of Mason Anderson, Alex Del Rey, Wan Jun Lee, and Chunan Yu. The Sun Devils had a great month of March, racking up back-to-back tournament victories in the National Invitational Tournament and the Lambkin Grits Collegiate. ASU boasts 3 tournament victories and has yet to place outside the top 5 in a tournament this season. The Aggie Invitational's first 2 rounds will take place Saturday, while the final round will be played on Sunday.
It might be this multi-month stretch, the best I've ever had in my coaching career. I think I've had a month or 2 where we won everything, but these guys have been playing great really since October, maybe all year, but especially since October. Second, first, second, first, and those seconds could have very easily been first as well. There's something about second that keeps you hungry. There was a point where I was, okay, we got too many of these, and I don't want us to have a complex that we can't win or we can't get the job done. At the same time, I like the fact that second is a theme. We're still ranked second, so there's a lot to keep pushing for. You know, when we're 12 or 13, I can say, hey, we got a long ways to go. You lose a little bit of that as you get up closer, but we still do. I mean, from where we can be as a team, I still think we have a long ways to go, even though it's only 1 spot in the ranking. The big message this year is even though we won last week or whatever, it's actually going to be harder than next time. And you have to always remember what you did. Human nature is that when things go your way or you win or you get what you want, you let your guard down and you forget all the difficult steps and all the intensity and focus and discipline it took to get there. So if anything, that's the biggest thing, is like it's not going to ever get easier. If you're always pursuing to be the very best you can, it actually only gets harder and harder the better you get. And sign up for that and embrace it and love it, because it's going to be hard every day and we're going to go out and earn it every day.
Time now for The Way It Is. We ask each other 3 questions, give our answers, and then the person who has better answers is rewarded by the producers in the studio with a little time to rant. So Harley, let's get into it. First question for you. 3 ASU programs have made the NCAA tournament in the past month in men's and women's basketball, along with men's hockey. Which of those teams do you think had the best season? Go.
All right, Rob, I think context is something really important here. I'm going to go with men's hockey. The first 3 years this team has been in Division I hockey, they made the tournament this season. Obviously fell short, but I think overall that is a quite defeat, and in my opinion, the best feat in ASU sports this season.
That's definitely fair, and I'm going to go with ASU women's basketball. The ladies made their 6th straight NCAA tournament appearance. This time fell to Mississippi State in the Sweet 16. Charlie Turner-Thorne, the head coach, said that she wanted to make it to the second weekend. They've had trouble doing that over the past couple years. Not this year. They did that. They fell to a tough team in a tough draw. I think they had a great year, and that's my pick.
Tough to argue with that, Rob. All right, my turn here. Joey Decord made his NHL debut with the Ottawa Senators yesterday, becoming the first ASU men's hockey player in the NHL. When you think of ASU athletes in pro sports, who's the person you think of the most?
So, Harley, I think that you're going to go after a certain left-handed shooter, potentially in the Western Conference, maybe on the Houston Rockets. I'm going to go with somebody else. I think Barry Bonds is the guy that I think of when I think of ASU in pro sports. The MLB home run king, went to Arizona State and had the freshman home run record before Spencer Torkelson eclipsed that last year. He's my pick, although I think James Harden's probably a little more well-known right now.
All right, call me predictable, Rob. I am going to go with James Harden. An astronomical 36 points per game, absolutely running away with the NBA scoring title. Giannis Antetokounmpo may be coming for that MVP, but I think James Harden is going to wind up with it when the season ends, so I'm going to roll with him.
Great pronunciation there. And number 3, rumors are circulating that ASU freshman shooting guard Luguentz Dort will leave ASU and enter the NBA draft this offseason. So I want to get your take, Harley. Should he go into the draft? Should he try to be a pro next year?
Absolutely. I think if I'm Luguentz Dort, I am taking the money right now and running. You talk about a guy who might be a top 25, top 20 pick. You never know what's going to happen when you come back for a second season. He could get injured, may see a downtick in his play. I think he did enough towards the end of the season to secure a slot in that mid to late first round area.
So, Harley, I definitely agree with you on if he should leave or stay. I don't agree with you on why. I think it's because if he gets selected in the first round of the draft, he gets many more guarantees and much more money than the second round. And I think this year the draft is so top heavy. I think after about the first 7 guys, there's a major drop off. I think there's a chance he goes in the top 20, 25. That's why I think he should go and get all that money this year.
Right, we're absolutely on the same page there. We're going to wait and see who wins this. I don't know. I think that's pretty good answers here.
Yeah, Harley, you did very well. I think I won last time, so I'm feeling good. And it's going to be me again. Harley, I'm sorry. Now, let's spend a moment on one of the most consistent programs on ASU's campus year in and year out. This season, Charlie Turner-Thorne led ASU women's basketball to the Big Dance for a school record 6th consecutive season and the 14th under the 53-year-old coach. The women haven't just been steady reaching the NCAA tournament, but they've won at least one game in 11 of its last 12 tournament appearances. This year, the team reached the Sweet 16 as a 5 seed, beating UCF and Miami before losing to defending national champion and number 1 seed Mississippi State. This team was led by its senior play, specifically through Kiana Ibis, who scored her 1,000th point this season and finished her 4-year career with ASU as the 15th most points in the program's storied history. Watching Ibis dominate in the front court this year with her shooting touch and crafty play reminded me of watching another all-time great Sun Devil in Sophie Bruner, who finished 3rd on the all-time scoring list. Next year's group is expected to be a lot younger, and the word rebuild is being tossed around. ASU will lose 4 seniors in Ibis, guard Courtney Akmark, and forward Sophia Alenga and Charnay Johnson-Chapman. Losing 4 senior starters is a blow no matter what. But Turner-Thorne has built this program into a constant and consistent national contender, and I expect with a younger and unproven squad next year, not much will change that. And that's the way it is. So now we head into top plays. Number 3, let's head out to Phoenix Municipal Stadium, where we have a rivalry weekend. We have ASU and Arizona. Right there, though, Hunter Bishop, the midseason player of the year by perfect game, hitting a bomb, his 16th home run of the season on Saturday night. And that was a moonshot to center field, Harley.
All right, we spent a lot of time talking about ASU hockey on the show today. That's because they were in their first ever tournament appearance. Another first here, Britton Pashuk, first goal in ASU hockey tournament history. We'll take another look at it here. They did fall short, obviously, but this was a very great moment for this program going forward.
Okay, Harley, so we're going to go back out to Phoenix Muni one more time. Who wants a taco? Oppo tacos all around. Spencer Torkelson right here. Saturday night, home run for the Sun Devils, and they would go on to sweep Arizona, as we've said on the show, for the first time since 2009. That man knows how to hit a home run or two, and, I mean, you got a good old taco. Oppo right there.
Oppo taco. I like that, Rob. Hadn't heard that one before.
Eric Burns, the A's old outfielder, says that a lot on MLB Network. That is where I get that, Harley. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Cronkite Sports Live. For Harley Yearout, I'm Rob Werner. Same time, same place next week. We hope you join us then.